Okay, those are the two big components of work. When all that's done, plus or minus 30 days later, we get done with the building, then we're going to do painting activities, and we're going to repaint the entire building and resurface the deckings. Staying the ground floor, correct? Or the elevated decks?
Just the elevator.
Elevated decks. Okay, so here's what I anticipate. We'll get done with this vertical element. We'll have everything. The stone will be back, which will be nice and then a finished stone, but then the stucco will look like stucco. You know, gray, cementitious stucco, and people are going to come and say, hey, you know, when are you going to paint this? Well, we're going to leave that for a while because it has to go through a curing process. And then we'll fall back when everything's ready, and there'll be a final painting of the whole building. And we'll reseal the decking. And we're going to coordinate that decking sealant so we have access as best we can. But it's going to inconvenience us for a day when we're doing your floors or the decking in front of your access points. That's going to be a little bit coordination intensive, but we'll go through that again, and then we'll make sure we clarify it in a notice. Okay, so those are the three big components. Again, we're going to do the vertical element, balcony, knee walls. That's going to be going on. At the same time, we're going to be doing window surrounds, or window bands, and sealing the windows. Then we're going to repaint the buildings and redo the decking on the breezeways. And we're going to work our way. Let's go back to this schedule I'm showing you here. We're going to work our way from the front. We're going to go to building 9, and then in this picture we're going to go to 5, 6, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and then we're going to come back to the 2, 3, and 4. We're staying away from 2, 3, and 4 because it's the eagle nesting season, and then we want to stay away from that until we get beyond that, so we specifically have devised or designed our schedule to work around that so that we're staying as far away from that as possible. So for those of you in those buildings, don't think we forgot about you. We're going to move through the process, through the property kind of systematically. We hope to find a really nice rhythm and to move through it as cleanly as possible. So that is how we intend to move through the property. The key to these jobs, at least when I'm involved, is I want to make sure you guys know who we are. So there should not be any person on this job that isn't wearing this vest. So every one of our people, and at some time I would guesstimate we could have as many as 30, maybe 35 personnel on the project. Okay. What I want to extend to the residents as a courtesy is to let you know that any kind of strange guy walking around or girl, if they have this vest on, you know they're part of our group. Okay. And that gives us some peace of mind because you know it's a little disconcerting when you're looking around. There's a bunch of people running around and they're all in different garb and different wear. You know, for us, we need to establish a sense of professionalism, and everybody, including myself, will have these vests on. We also typically will introduce numbers on the back. God forbid anything happens, or someone offends you, or someone is saying something they shouldn't, or whatever. I want to know about it. So, you know, we don't try to create a system where you can report number 27 or I had this whatever, and I'll make sure to handle it. I'll make sure to deal with it promptly and report back to you accordingly. So we've experienced a lot of success in terms of how these are exciting times. I know they can be frustrating because it's construction for me is fun, but for residents sometimes it's inconvenient, and there are going to be moments that it's inconvenient because we're going to need the parking is what we're going to be very careful of. Josh is making sure we're preserving as much parking as possible. But when we set up on this element and we got controlled fencing that we're going to put outside the element, we're going to try to preserve and protect the landscaping as best as possible. But I need these parking spaces. I need stage equipment. I need to. I'm going to be delivering equipment via forklifts, things of that nature, and we're going to try to preserve as much of the parking as possible. But I might need these 2 spaces in front of this element. And then down here, we'll need these 2 spaces in front of this element. We're not taking the whole face. We're trying to do away with that because that would be really difficult for the residents. But this is our plan as to parking. There is going to be a little inconvenience as to that incident, and I think just having construction go on is not going to be fun. But the end result is going to be great because there's been water infiltration, water damage, and we intend to take care of that and restore it to brand new, basically. So we expect the scheduled timeline to start, like I said, in the middle of October, with some of these staging activities. We are waiting for the permit, and the permit will be that last trigger that allows us to go full steam ahead. So we're meeting with them, I think, on Thursday, again, to kind of push that through as best we can. I say that hesitantly because I don't have control over local jurisdictions, but they're pretty cooperative, and I'm not anticipating, a lot of problems in that regard. But once they ring the bell and give us the permit, then it's full steam ahead. So we're going to be ramping up as we start. I don't think you can see 40 people, and frankly, these properties are fairly large. I know it sounds like a lot as I'm talking, but I lose track of my guys on the site, but 40 people is not a lot. They get spread out, and they're doing things in different spaces. So I don't think it will be that overwhelming, but to those of you who live here, there's going to be 30, 35 people at some time. Right away, it won't be that many. It will start up, and it will take up about a month gain rhythm. So that's the construction sequencing from front to back. You know where the construction compound is going to be. We have, when we do come into your home, we like to leave something, and this is a little, we'll leave this on the table or on the floor and let you know that we've been in and we're out. What's important about this is sometimes we schedule a date to come in and move your sliding glass door. And I'll be honest with you, I'm pretty doggone good, but we don't hit it every single time. We're supposed to be in on Wednesday and we couldn't get to that unit. So if you don't see this little thing, then you don't, when you do see this, we've been in, then you may go to work, come back, and the door looks just like when you left it. But we took it out, we put it back. If you see this little thing, it says, thank you, we'll let you know, we've completed the work, we're out of here. We're not coming back, you don't have to worry about are we coming back tomorrow or whatever. So we're very sensitive about people coming in and out of your units. We'll gain access through management control only. We will do so only with notices in advance, so you'll know when we're coming. There will be some, this thing does outline certain things. Like, for example, pets. The day we're coming in, we're going to need you to cage your pets or take your pets away. We don't want to distress the animals. We definitely want to encourage you to remove any and all any kind of specialties, jewelries, anything that you might be concerned about. I don't anticipate any problems, but I think that would be just the normal thing to do. And we'll give you instructions in this regard, and it should be, I've done thousands of units and I haven't had any problems. Okay, so we hope to shine in that regard and give you that same sense of confidence. But we'll give you these notices. These notices will be self-explanatory when it's your turn when your term's up. Okay, so don't worry about anticipating the when. Let's see. I wanted to say. What I wanted to also talk about is quality control. Yes. I know obviously what we're doing is repairing something that another contractor did somewhere down the line, and that's frustrating. What we're doing here is we're working under the review of Alta, who will be here on a regular basis. That's your engineer of record. That's your set of eyes. Brett's a great guy, but he's kind of a no holds barred kind of guy. He's made it clear to us that we're going to do it right. We're going to establish mock-ups on the front end, which means we're going to do the first one very carefully, very slowly, and make sure any kind of questions we have, we're going to make sure we get it right under their supervision. There's a lot of issues here. I mean, not issues, but there's a lot of quality control concerns that we want to make sure are done right this time so you don't have any problems in the future. So Alta's going to be here on a regular basis inspecting our progress and inspecting our work. The work also, from a code standpoint, will be inspected by a third-party jurisdiction, the building department. And lastly, we retain, on our own part, our own third-party consultant that will review the quality control from our own guys. That's an internal quality control mechanism. Most of what we do, we have the benefit of getting to do it over and over and over again. So you think if we get it right the first time, we should have it right the second time, third time, fourth time. A lot of contractors experience problems because they have third-party subcontractors, there's a lot of turnover, and they lose that continuity. The one thing about us is that the core elements, the core players on our team are part of our company. They're like, for all intents and purposes, they're our direct labor, craftsmen. I do not expect turnover during the delivery process. I expect the same team to work together, to work in concert, and once they get it right, it should be clockwork, because every one of these they'll all post something slightly different. They always do, but in general, they'll all be very much the same. So again, from a quality control standpoint, we have Alta watching the product all the time. We have us, which I'd like to say has we take a lot of pride in what we're going to do for you. I'm going to be the project manager out of the gate. You're going to see my face here every day. There's a gentleman by the name of Pedro Salazar who's not here today. He is kind of a coordinator. He'll be here every day. He's a wonderful people person. Will Turner is the operations director, and between Will and I, this company, you're going to see us all the time, which is unusual. Usually you get we're owners, part owners of the company, and we're going to be here all the time. This is pretty important to us. You'll either see Will here or myself here all the time. So that's the quality control concern or value. In addition,